This is the Bax and Grant Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. I'm Bax. No Grant. Grant is off for the summer enjoying life in North Dakota. But we are here now on a special occasion of the Bax and Grant Sports Show as we are broadcasting live from the 2015 ABA Conference in beautiful Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm joined in the co-host booth in person this time instead of on the phone by David Kenyon. So welcome to the show, sir. How are you today?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful, Kenny. Well, I'm glad you are here, but you're going to leave me here for a moment because we are on a bit of a time crunch today with our guest that we have, but we'll come back to you in just a moment, Kenny, but we are going to pass the headset over quickly to the ABA co-founder. It is an honor to be standing next to a man that is such a pinnacle force in the basketball world, Mr. Joe Newman. Joe, welcome to the show, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing terrifically. Thank you, and I really appreciate being on. Great respect for Sports Radio America, and we're honored to be a part of your company and looking forward to a great season.
Well, we conference pretty soon and keep educating all the owners and teams, representatives that are here. But while we have you, we want to just briefly touch on some of the things you feel are necessary for the public to know about this upcoming ABA season, maybe some of the small changes that you guys are implementing and things that ABA fans should really keep in mind for this coming season.
Well, that's a pretty broad question, so I love it. So I will now spend the next 47 minutes giving you an answer
Perfect.
to it.
Perfect. I'll set my headset down and walk away. You can take over.
Well, in case your listeners don't know, the ABA is the largest professional sports league in the United States. When we start play in November, we'll have nearly 90 teams, but what makes us even more unique is we are the most diversified professional sports league in history. 75% of our teams are owned by African Americans, Hispanics, Asians, and women, and we actually have 12 women owners. So when we begin play this year, there's no league that's ever been anything like the ABA, and we give more players an opportunity to achieve their dream of playing professionally, more coaches an opportunity to achieve their dream of coaching professionally, and also referees to ref professionally. And we've made our ownership so easy so that it gives people who have wanted to own a professional team an opportunity to.
Which is fantastic because you talk about owning a professional franchise nowadays and people think immediately you have to have millions and billions of dollars to be able to do so, all the sponsorship things that go into it. But the ABA kind of makes it simple or a lot easier than it comes to an NBA team in that regards for having owners. And you mentioned having female owners, which is something that is not very popular in the sports world. And the ABA, you said, has 12, which is a fantastic frontier, I feel like, for women as a whole to be able to break into the sports management industry as a whole. Now, one of the big things that you do have happening this year is you're breaking it up into blue and red conferences. Now, for those that have followed the ABA in the past, it has been more of just a standard playoff format, but there's been issues with the amount of, how many games this one team has played. So this year you've decided to make it a little bit more structured. Why don't you shed a little bit of light on what the blue and red conferences will entail?
Well, we wanted to have flexibility, and we look at major league sports like Los Angeles or Chicago or the New York Yankees or Dallas or Atlanta with unlimited budgets, and they have a tendency to be able to get the best players because they have the deepest pockets. Well, we recognize that all of our teams are not equal as far as financing is concerned. We don't play in our own venues, so they don't have venue availability. We play in junior colleges and in community colleges, and some play in high schools, and it's difficult for them to get the dates in order to have a game. So this year we decided to have a blue conference, and those are teams that play 20 or more games, and a red conference where they play 19 or less games. All the blue conference teams will automatically qualify for the playoffs. All of the red conference teams, those that will be playing in the playoffs, will have to be approved by our 11-person executive committee, and that depends upon the schedule and meeting their schedule and doing all of the basic ABA standards and requirements and running as a professional organization. And if they do that, then they have a chance to be eligible. But we're not saying to place like Colorado Kings that have difficulty finding games because the other teams are so far away from them, or a college that has women's volleyball and men's ping pong or whatever it is that stop you from having a venue availability, we can't penalize them. So, again, the ABA is unique, out of the box, and we try to do creative thinking to make it as easy as possible for our teams, but we are lifting up the standards and requirements and the code of ethics. We put in it this year, a code of ethics for owners and for coaches and for players and for sponsors and for fans that will make us the best operating professional sports league, I think, in the country, because all of our teams are buying into it and are going to adhere to these exciting new rules.
Now, you mentioned all of the new rules, the code of ethics, all of the standards that you're setting for the 2015-2016 season. Now, I feel one thing that people that are followers of the league ask, they're always asking, how many teams are in the league? And so far, the projected number is over 80. Am I correct about that?
That's correct.
Now, is there a cap? Or is the ABA the kind of league where you want to say, hey, if we have 150 teams across the United States and North America as a whole, that's fantastic? Or is there that magic number that you're like, once we get to 100, we kind of want to calm it down at least a little bit?
Well, when the word if came up, we just hit that on the delete button on our
computer. So when it does, okay.
When we are going to grow to 150 to 200 teams because we want to cut down on travel, and so we like to have our teams within 1, 2, or 3 hours because our players have jobs, our players have families, and we don't want them to be away overnight. And subsequently, there are so many great cities in the United States that can support an ABA team. We're in Lansing, Michigan, but we're also in Detroit, Michigan, and we are in the biggest cities in Texas and the biggest cities in Atlanta and Georgia, and we're also in Columbus, and we're in Conway, Arkansas. And so we think that we could have 100 to 200 teams easily, and it's my job to get them.
Okay, which is good. And you mentioned that you have multiple teams in multiple states, which is something that the ABA offers, I feel like, more than other leagues. You hear of NFL teams. If you have 2 NFL teams even in the same state, like a California or New York, not even necessarily New York because they play in New Jersey because that's how New York does things apparently. But if you're a follower of sports, you want a champion. You want to know how your favorite team is going to do. You want to win a championship at the end of the day. How is the playoff system in the ABA formatted? How you said teams qualify and they're eligible, but how many teams make the playoffs, and how is a champion ultimately decided at the end of the day?
Okay, we're going to change a few of the rules as we've outlined at the meeting today a little bit. All of the blue teams will be eligible to compete in the playoffs.
Meaning that they will make the playoffs, or you?
They will make the playoffs,
regardless of record.
That's right.
Okay.
And then red teams will be selected by the executive committee, and then we will have a play-in round where 4 to 8 teams will go to a single location and play and come out with 2 teams that will play one another. We'll do that in our 10 conferences around the country. Then we'll go to another central location on a second week and play down to the final 8. Those 8 will go to a single location, which this year will be in Laredo, Texas, and those 8 will compete the first rounds, 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7, 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5, will be single elimination, and then best of 3 to determine the ABA champion this year. We think we can do the whole process in 2.5 to 3 weeks, and that's our goal. Again, our players can't miss their jobs, they can't miss their families, so we want to compact it as best we can, and that's what we're planning to do, and we think the format will work very well.
Fantastic. Well, the season starts in November and runs until April, so playoffs are hoping to start beginning of April, mid-April?
Mid-April, after the NCAA tournament. We do not want to compete with the NCAA tournament.
It's a smart move, yeah.
I do want to mention one other thing.
Please.
We are fan-friendly and affordable. Ticket prices for ABA games are $10 for.
That's fantastic.
And that
can't go to an NBA game for $10.
No.
Unless they're have 3 wins all season.
And kids are $5. But players, and I think you'll be talking to Lansing in a minute, we have these community programs with like Susan B. Komen and the United Way and not breast cancer, but diabetes and cystic fibrosis, to where we have a program that involves the community, and we provide them with tickets, and the tickets we provide them, they then can sell and reap the benefits of the sale of the tickets. So it is a tremendous fundraiser. So not only are we interested in the awareness of these organizations, but we want to help them raise money. So we do that with churches, we do it with schools, with youth groups, with service organizations like Kiwanis and Lions Club and Rotary and Optimist Club. So it's one thing to give a lot of publicity. It's another thing for them to be able to generate serious revenue that they can use for their various programs, and in particular their youth programs. And so when you speak with Dave a little later, and you'll get an idea of exactly what it is that the ABA is. Our motto is the ABA, more than just a game, and so we have the most exciting basketball on the court, but the most exciting ownership group, creating the greatest environment possible off the court, and the combination of the two make us really an exceptional league.
Well, fantastic. Well, Joe, we appreciate you taking a little bit of time out of your busy schedule today, sir. Have fun in the rest of your meeting. Don't fall asleep. No, I'm kidding. Enjoy the time. We're looking forward to the upcoming ABA season. We know you have a lot of exciting things planned, the community initiatives, everything that goes along with the league. Congratulations again on 15 years now with the league. Started back in 2000, and we look forward to the future of ABA. Well,
thank you, Baxter. I have to say, Sports Radio America is the future of radio, future of broadcasting, and so to be a part of your organization is a great honor for us, and we're going to do everything that we can to justify the confidence that your company has placed in us, and we'll do everything we can to make you proud of us as you are with us.
Likewise, same for you as well. So Thanks again. He's Joe Newman, the co-founder of the ABA and also the VP Director of League Operations. Tom Chicrester will be joining us as well in just a little bit. We are going to go to a fast break. When we come back, we will have two more exciting guests. This is the Baxing Grand Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Baxing Grant Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. I'm Bax. No Grant. Grant is off for the summer, but hopes to rejoin the show late July, if not mid-August, when he returns from his time in the great state of North Dakota, where he is at a summer camp training today's children to be tomorrow's leaders, or whatever slogan he offers to get the money of the parents that go out there. No, I'm sure it's something important. So, but I am joined in the booth today by David Kenyon, Bleacher Report's finest and the Sports Knots, and soon to be an ABA color analyst as well. David, talk a little bit about your experience thus far today. You've been at the conference with us. You got a chance to hear what Joe Newman said. Got to hear all kinds of exciting opportunities that's going on for the league. Give us just some snippets about how you're feeling about it.
It's a really, really interesting league. Obviously, it's not as well known as the NBA, but if you remember back 40, 50 years ago, the NBA and the ABA merged. See, that would have been more toward 40 years ago. But anyway, so what the ABA has done is they've made that welcoming environment, and more teams have jumped on board, and it's really cool because you think, you know what, my basketball dream's not going to die, and you can go do this.
You can, because NBA rosters, I mean, there's, 12 players to a team, 13 players
15.
to a team? 15, but even still, you maybe have 9 that see the court if you're lucky a game.
Yeah.
If you're lucky. So being able to play this next level of basketball. It keeps the dream alive for so many players that maybe they went down with an injury and they weren't able to get back to NBA caliber, but they can still go and play and follow their dream, and the ABA provides a fantastic outlet for that.
Absolutely, and it's a very competitive league. I'm looking forward to the playoffs. I really hope we're going to be able to make it down there. It sounds like it's going to be a great experience for all those players. I love the format, and I really like how they changed it up to make it more fair to the teams who do play a lot of games, but still include the teams that don't have that big budget.
Exactly. You have a better chance for a Cinderella story. You never know. You might get that 16 seed that, surprises a few folks, whether or not that actually happens. You never know. But basketball as a whole is very exciting to watch. It's a fast-paced game. You and I are going to be part of the Sports Radio America broadcast teams that help cover the game of the week that will be heard right here on Sports Radio America, similar to where you can hear the Bax and Grant Sports Show on Sports Radio America. Over the summer, you can hear us from 7 to 10 Eastern, also on Live 365 and TuneIn. And remember, you can listen to us on demand anytime you want on Spreaker.com, on iTunes, and you can listen to us on iHeartRadio as well. We appreciate all the support that you do give us. Remember, as we're here at the ABA conference, you can also check out all of our social media accounts as well, which is on Facebook, the Bax and Grant Sports Show. Give us a like. You can also follow us on Twitter at BG Sports Show. You can also follow us on Snapchat and Instagram, both BG Sports Show as well. And then, of course, when you use the hashtag, the Bax Grant Sports Show, you have the opportunity to have pictures, videos show up on sportsradioamerica.com and also on Instagram. And it gives us a better opportunity to interact with our fans and see just how far the league is coming in terms of, with ABA, but also you can give us a better picture of what it's like to be a sports fan nowadays. So with that being said, I'd like to welcome in the ABA Vice President or VP Director of League Operations and Officials, Mr. Tom Chichester. Did I get it correct?
Absolutely.
Awesome. We said it before the break, or I said going into the break, and you kind of looked at me like, that was close.
You did a good job.
I got it this time.
It's a tongue twister at times, but you did it.
You said you've been called worse, so I don't know if we want to necessarily hear that on the air. But
as a referee, we hear a lot of things.
They get real colorful with you guys, I'm sure, especially at away games. But we appreciate you being here, Tom. You have spoken for most of the morning on a lot of the new initiatives that are going on, the new rules, and then you also spent some time in this last session of the conference talking about the officials. And I feel like when people hear the ABA, they say, it's minor league basketball, it's not that important. But the initiatives that we keep hearing about, the referee training, the professional aspect of the ABA is so undervalued, I feel like. So if you could at least speak a little bit about at least the referees, and then we'll get into some other stuff as well in terms of the training that they have to go through and why people should trust these referees that are not at the NBA as certain people would view it.
Yeah, people have, they have two standards, to look at. And the word, we try not to use the word semi-pro in the ABA. I mean, call it what you may, but it's professional basketball.
Yes, yeah, and that's what I feel like to a casual viewer.
It's not the NBA. We don't try to compete with the NBA, and it's the ABA, and that's what it is. Now, as far as the officials go, these are dedicated people that are part of my staff that have, for the most part, been a part of NCAA Major Division I program, Division II, Division III, JUCO. They've been trained and developed in that realm, as have I. I've come up through the ranks myself and worked 12 years as a men's Division I official. And so we're held to those same standards of professionalism and development and quality. And that's what we do here in the ABA. We bring that forward, and we offer it to the development of the league. And everybody that's in this they're dedicated. And the great thing about the ABA officiating program, we do everything the NCAA, basically mechanic standards, basic mindset rules. So when a referee, and that's one of the reasons referees enjoy working in this league. We don't ask them to go out Friday night and do something on a San Diego game maybe. And then Sunday, when they work a UCLA game, let's say, they'll be off page.
Yeah.
Okay. That's guys like it because they stay on page. They come here, work in the ABA. They go, and what the proud thing we are of the ABA program, it helped officials advance to become stronger officials within their own current structure of things. The real carrot in front of their nose is, hey, work these tough ball games, become stronger in your abilities as officials, in your current NCAA status of where you're at. And I love when I get the call and say, Tom, geez, I got a full schedule this year. advanced like a skyrocket since I worked in the ABA.
Which is good, and then you want to be able to provide that opportunity.
That's our mission. Many guys become higher in quality or in status in their Division 3, 2, and 1. And when we lose guys to say, hey, I got a full schedule and work in Division 1 basketball, that's
fantastic.
music to our
if you were
ears.
able to provide those opportunities for them,
that's one of the things we've been able to consistently be able to do in the ABA, and that's the thing we're proud of.
Well, which is a fantastic thing to be proud of. Now, you've been with the league since day one. Am I correct about that? You've been around since 2000?
Yep, absolutely, 1999.
1999. Now, what appealed to you about the ABA? Why the ABA? Obviously, it's gone through some transitions, but what appealed to you about wanting to be a part of this league?
Well, it's interesting. When I first got involved, I was just looking. I was working men's Division I basketball, and I was just looking. I saw this thing about the ABA, and I just was, maybe I could sign up and work a couple games over here. Buffalo, New York was to have a team at that time. I lived in Rochester, New York. And so I said, so long short of it, and through several months and communications, apparently I fit the bill to what they were looking for, and I became the referee director of officials. So then from there, the appeal to it, the thing that's kept me with it all these years has been just what I just talked to you about. It's been the opportunity to meet, train, develop officials throughout the United States and become stronger in their skill sets as officials and therefore advance them in their ranks. So that, and of course, the ABA game I mentioned in the ABA meeting with the team owners. We are fortunate that we kind of threw a magic potion together of this rule, that rule, another rule, and out came this tremendous game. And I'll say it here, and I'll say it. I've said it for 15 years now. I think the ABA game product, when it's on all cylinders, especially in these ABA championship games, you'll see it. It's one of the best I've seen of a basketball game product that there is in the world.
It's an amazing thing to hear because, as we were hearing in the conference as well, there's interest from international parties. The knowledge is not exactly public, so we won't go into it too much, but there's international opportunities that are arising for the ABA where other countries are taking notice and saying, hey, we like what you're doing, we want to get on board, we know that this is something that can be really beneficial for the growth of basketball.
Yeah, there's been a lot of people following suit on that with rules, and I mentioned in the meeting, there's been a lot of things that we've initiated with rules-wise, and all of a sudden we see it now, one thing go into the NBA, we see another thing into the NCAA. So
and you're almost a pioneer in that
we're like the little train that couldn't, we're just,
which is
we're
good.
Just there. But,
you think you can,
yeah,
you do it.
And then all of a sudden somebody else say, maybe what they're doing,
that too.
Maybe what they're doing is makes sense. So, but that's kind of been kept me here, my interest.
Well, fantastic. Well, Tom, we really appreciate you taking a little time out of your busy
pleasure.
schedule today. Any other final thoughts or words for the listening community?
No, I appreciate what you guys are doing here and with your sports show and the reach out to the basketball community and to inform people of what's going on in the world of basketball here in the ABA is quite phenomenal that a lot of people don't know about. And through your program here, hopefully a lot more will be able to learn about it.
Well, we're happy to help, and we're excited to look forward to the future. So best of luck on the upcoming season, sir. And
thank you, sir.
I'm sure we'll be talking to you
My
again
pleasure.
in the near future.
Thank you.
So that is Tom Chichester, the ABA VP Director of League Operations and Officials. And we will be getting ready to welcome in a few more guests here in just a moment. Now, David, as we were listening to everything that Tom was saying, I think the fact that the referee aspect of it is so highly valued. And you've covered sports for many years. I've covered sports for many years. And obviously, fans love to rip on the officials. But the ABA takes such a strong protocol, I guess, to finding the right referees, the right options for them. And it really does show how this league is not just a throwaway league like a casual fan might view it, because it's not. It's professional basketball, like Tom said, and it's in a very interesting grouping of players and referees.
And the biggest thing about referees is referees are what makes your game respectable, because you can go to a game and there might be a great on-court product, but the more that those refs kind of make shoddy calls and you're not sure, it kind of takes away from the experience and you don't really want to come back. But they put the emphasis on making sure they have good, well-trained officials, and the more that happens, and the less that takes away from their on-court product, which is very good.
Mm-hmm.
It's very good.
It's an exciting brand of basketball to watch.
Absolutely. And the less the referees take away from that product, the better it is for the league as a whole.
Which is a fantastic thing. And with the league as a whole, obviously there is growth, there is expansion, and one of the newer teams that will be joining in to the ABA this year is the Lansing Sting. And who better to talk about the Lansing Sting than the owner and GM of the organization, Dave Williams. Welcome to the show, sir. I feel very short standing next to you.
Well, you should.
Yeah, I'm. For the listening audience, I'm lucky if I'm about 6'1", depending on what gas station I'm leaving. You're what,
6'10".
6'10". Yeah, that's for those taking pictures. There, you can kind of get a general idea of how short I am. But I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, you've played in your past. You played
yes, sir.
Basketball. Give us a little bit of insight about your previous playing experience.
Okay. Well, I played at Saginaw Valley State for 4 years, was a 4-year starter, and then I played overseas, and it was one of the best experiences of my life. Got a chance to go to Chile and Mexico and Germany and just had an absolute great time. And one of the reasons why I decided to become an owner this year was because I wanted to allow other guys a chance to really further their careers in the game of basketball. And that's really the number one reason why we started a team in Lansing, was we felt that our city and our area was not getting the recognition they deserved, and we really want to help some of these young players aspire to do better things and to really further their careers.
Okay, well, that's fantastic. And you hear about that with expansion teams. Some coaches are more, or some owners are more concerned about, okay, how fast can we make money? How fast can we put butts in seats, as it were? But the actual development of the players is crucial, and you don't hear that from a lot of expansion teams. So it's good that you are trying to take the experiences you had as a player and kind of reiterate that now as an owner and say, look, I used to be exactly where you are, number 32. Let's have you try to go through the exact same scenarios and try to build the best name that we can for you in the ABA. Now, you said you were going to be based out of Lansing. Do you have a venue picked out yet for where your games will be taking place?
We do. We had several larger venues in mind at the time when we first started, but we actually chose to go with Pattengale Middle School. The reason being is we're a community-based team, and we felt that it was perfectly centrally located in the Lansing area to be able to help the most amount of kids. There's the middle school, there's a couple high schools, a couple elementary schools nearby, and, just right downtown Lansing. So it just seemed to be a great fit for us. There's also a fire station right across the road, and, a couple charities in the direct area as well. So we really wanted to put off that community vibe, and we want our fans to come out and support not just us, but the local surrounding area. So we just felt that was our instead of trying to fit as many fans in the stands, we wanted to make sure that we supported an area, and that's what we're doing.
Which is something you don't hear a lot about, so that's very commendable on your part, so very well done for that. Now, you say you have a lot of community involvement. Are there a few specific companies and organizations that you try to partner with in terms of different fundraisers and activities that fans can get involved with?
Absolutely. Our first event as an organization, we did a free Easter egg hunt. We had about 500, 600 kids come out for our free Easter egg hunt, and we partnered with the county parks in Lansing, the Ingham County Parks, and we also partnered with the Ingham County Humane Society. And we were able through our Easter egg hunt to be able to raise $1,600 for the Humane Society.
Wow.
And we felt that was a great start for our organization. We also partner with Susan G. Coleman right now. We're getting ready to do a Pink in the Park at Potter Park Zoo. So it's going to be a fun time. We're getting a chance to raise money for some great organizations, but also to obviously create some awareness for our team and our involvement in the community.
Which is a fantastic thing to hear. So an upcoming event, do you have a day for when Pink in the Park will be taking place?
We don't. It's going to be probably early September, probably the first week of September as of right now. So we don't have an official date yet, but it will be on our website at LansingSting.com as soon as we get it up.
Fantastic. Now, obviously, this is an expansion team. Are you nervous about the upcoming season? Do you have players, coaches, etc., all lined up yet, or are we still filling in some of the gaps?
Filling in some of the gaps right now. Being a first-time team, obviously, I want to make sure that I get people around me that have the same motivations as me. Like I said, getting players overseas, being able to help out in the community. And we just want to make sure that everybody is a right fit. So, we have some players from the Lansing area, and we probably will have quite a few from the Lansing area. But like I said, we're making sure that everybody is a good fit for our organization. We're not going to go out and do anything unprofessionally. Everything's going to be run professionally and to the T. So,
which is a good thing to hear, because you want to make sure if you're not organizationally sound, your team is not going to be able to, perform well. The organization's going to fall apart, and then it's going to be like, oh, Lansing had a team? I don't know who,
Exactly.
But you're taking the right steps, which is a great thing. Now, on the actual on-court perspective of the team, do you have any teams in the general Michigan area that you're like, I am just really excited to get a chance to play them? I mean, you got to have a little bit of a rivalry, a little bit of fun. I'm sure there's at least one or two teams that you're like, I've got this date circled on the calendar. We are gunning for this team.
Well, we all
in good fun.
Yeah,
obviously.
It's kind of like sibling rivalry. Everybody wants to beat each other, obviously,
Sure.
on the court. But off the court, all the owners in the Michigan area have come together, and we have done some great things together. But on the court, we have 4 really good teams in the Detroit area, so it would be nice to go down there for a weekend and show them what's up. Show them why we're the capital city, and who the better team, better brand is. So.
Fantastic. Well, I'm sure we will be looking forward to those games. Dave, appreciate it, sir. You are the owner and GM of the Lansing Sting, a new expansion team in the ABA. You can find all the information about the team at LansingSting.com. Check out their community fundraisers and organizations, and as the schedule and roster and coaching and everything is announced, that'll be the best place to do it. Are you guys on social media at all?
Absolutely. You can find us on Facebook at Lansing Sting as well, and also Twitter right now. And we're also going to have a dance team, and they're all going to have their own social media and everything as well. So
there you go.
That is yet to come.
Fantastic. Well, Dave, congratulations on the new team, and best of luck on the upcoming season.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime. All right, we're going to go to another break. When we come back, I feel like the guest line continues to get longer, Kenny, as I keep looking. I feel like I talk to one person, I turn, there's another person, I turn, there's another person, which is fine. It's a good problem to have.
I'll make my way back here eventually, I promise.
No, I miss you, and I appreciate the fact that you at least come back to say hi fast. So we are broadcasting live from the 2015 ABA Conference in Indianapolis, Indiana. He's David Kenyon, I'm Baxter Colburn. When we come back, we have Ralph Presley, the owner and head coach of the Southwest Warriors, based in Atlanta, Georgia, jumping on the show. And you never know. We might even have a few more people on. You never know what's going to happen. That's what the beauty of the Baxter Grand Sports Show is. So we're going to go to a break. When we come back, so much more to talk about. This is the Baxter Grand Sports Show, presented by Sports Radio America. Welcome back to the Bax and Grant Sports Show, presented by Sports Radio America. I'm Bax. No Grant. Grant is off for the summer, off in North Dakota, doing wonderful things for the great community out there at a summer camp. Something that my co-host for the day, David Kenyon, will be doing in the near future, right? Don't you head off in another week or two, sir?
A week or two. I am going from Indianapolis up to Muskegon, Michigan tonight. I got 6 hours ahead of me.
Wow, I've only got a 4-hour drive back to Milwaukee, but we are broadcasting live here at the 2015 ABA Conference in Indianapolis, Indiana. We've already had a chance to speak with Tom Chichester, the ABA VP Director of League Operations and Officials. We just chatted with Dave Williams, the owner and GM of the Lansing Sting. And we also had an opportunity to speak with Joe Newman, the co-founder of the ABA. So much history, so much... I feel like I'm in awe. I feel like I'm going to blink and the day's going to be over and be like, wait, was I just in Indiana? Was I just talking to all these awesome people? It's such an exciting time to be able to be here. And Kenny, with our last guest on being from Lansing, you hail from the Mitten State, as it were. Is it a glove? Is it a mitten? I never know what to call it.
It's a mitten.
It's
definitely a mitten, yeah.
Because Wisconsin's the hand.
And we have a little hat, too.
You have a little hat. That's right.
Yeah.
The UP's a nice little hat
The
on you
Upers.
guys. The Upers there.
The Upers.
I feel like that should be a hat company, the Upers hat.
I'm sure there's something.
You could. That's marketable, I'm sure. But Kenny, you are from Michigan, as you whole. You went to school in Michigan, and with everything with the ABA, how do you feel about the growth of ABA basketball in the Michigan community?
It's a really cool thing, especially with Lansing coming in, because you have a team in Muskegon, you have a team coming into Kalamazoo, you have a team coming into Lansing, you have the Grand Rapids team, and you have the handful of teams over in the Detroit area. And that really, all those places are connected by a couple interstates. That's huge, especially for these teams on those, the expansion teams with the limited budgets. They're going to have
bus travel, everything so much simpler.
They're going to have these hour, 2 hour, 3 hour drives, and it's just a very big community-oriented environment because they're all so close.
Which is a huge thing to have. And when it comes to community, as you mentioned, we've heard from multiple different people on the show today that community is a big part of it. And not only in the Midwest, but as you head down the highways towards the south, you end up in Atlanta, Georgia, and you run into people like Ralph Presley, who is the owner and head coach of the Southwest Warriors, based in Atlanta, Georgia, since 2011. Sir, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
We're very excited for it. Now, the big emphasis, I feel like, in the ABA and from some of the guests has been community. And the Warriors have been a very big part of the community in Atlanta. And I wanted to get some of your thoughts and feelings on some of the involvement that you do.
What we do, we help at-risk kids in Atlanta. And we teach them a sport that's not common for our youth. We teach them table tennis.
Really?
Yes, and all kids can play table tennis, or whether they short, fat, skinny, or whatever. They all can play. It doesn't matter the gender. And we put them in groups so that, the novice kids can play, the advanced kids can play. And it's been successful that my nonprofit called Central Atlanta Junior Table Tennis League is actually the owner of the ABA team Southwest Warriors, which came about the players that I was Dwight Howard's former statistician, who now plays for the Houston Rockets, and he, drafted by the NBA. But those young men who are very good basketball players that just don't get drafted into NBA can play in the ABA, and they are just as good. They just don't have the contracts. The NBA
the millions of dollars, the drama that goes with it.
60 players this past draft, but the NBA has over 2,000 players that could be in the NBA. And so we provide great opportunities. The ABA provides great opportunities for these young men to play professional ball. And don't call this semi-pro. I spend all of my money, all of my time.
You're putting more money in than as professional as you can get.
Exactly. And so with Tom Chichester, Mr. Newman, Code of Conduct, we want to make sure that we take these good playing young men and then present them in the most professional way possible.
Which is good because that's, I feel like, what you hear about the ABA as a casual basketball fan. You're like, it's, for the way I've had to describe it to some people, like, what's the ABA? And it's not a diss. I'm like, it's minor league NBA. That's the really cheap version for the non-fan that will never care about it.
We major league ABA.
Exactly. But then for those that are actually creating awareness about it, it is professional. It is an entire league and an entity of its own. And it's
Absolutely.
because of pioneers like yourself that have been a part of the league that have made this league continue to grow. Now, stepping into more of the team aspect of it, you're the coach.
Yes.
How'd you guys do last year?
We came in last place.
Last place? It was a rebuilding year last year
No,
for
we
it.
came
It
in last
wasn't.
place, and I tell you what, we dangerous team. We only go up.
Okay. That's optimism. I like
these
that.
players, you wouldn't believe the heart and soul of these players, that they play their heart out, and it doesn't matter what place you come in, is that you will get an opportunity to play professional basketball that you would not have had to play. And they come out, the players have to actually pay us for a tryout.
Okay. I've seen that with a lot of non-pro teams.
We had a tryout fee,
Yep.
and that weeds out the players that the wannabes that's not serious about the basketball game. And then they come and play, and we have professional uniform, referees, the whole 9 yards, professional venues. Some venues not so professional, doesn't matter. These guys are playing professional basketball that the NBA would not give them a chance to play. And I tell them, this is the top. You're not going overseas. You're not going to NBA.
You're going
you
right
in the
here.
pros. You in the pros.
You
now.
are.
You got to carry yourself, and you have to do community involvement, help the community, and so on. Hey, look, the NBA and the D League is not the beginning of the end of the world.
Exactly. You have to start somewhere. Not everybody's going to be as fortunate as people like Kobe Bryant and LeBron James, where it's like, oh, I had a really great high school career. Oh, I'm going to go to the NBA. No, that's an unrealistic version of what the NBA is nowadays.
We kind of like the person who tells the 5-year-old kid that there's no Santa Claus, and we also tell them, hey, there's no NBA. This is it.
Yeah.
This is good as it's going to get.
And there's nothing wrong with that because
and they enjoy it, they love it, and they talented, they fast paced, can shoot and dunk, make free throws, and you wouldn't believe the excitement. So if you can catch an ABA game on ESPN3 on the radios or Sports Radio America, you're really going to see some exciting basketball. And these players love the game, no complaining, no fighting. They're good, hard-nosed, great basketball players,
which
and
is
we just love it. It's
and
awesome.
I absolutely love that because you can see the passion. You're getting fired up, and I love it.
Exactly.
And it's that mixture of that coach aspect obviously coming out. You got to fire up the players.
And so I graduated. I played basketball in college. I never got drafted, but when Joe Newman approached me, I turned age 60. He said, "You want to be a force?" Play professional basketball owner. I said, yes, I finally got drafted after 40 years.
There you
I'm
go.
an owner now. It took me a while.
Hey, the fact is that also helping provide those opportunities for those fellows that play college ball and say, well, I wasn't one of the 50 or 60 that get drafted in the NBA.
Yep.
I want to keep playing. I'm 22. I'm 23. I could have another 10 years in the ABA if I stay healthy. And it helps.
And these guys will go to work. They work 40 hours a week, have jobs. And they come back. We play on weekends. And we travel, get on that bus and travel 8, 9, 10 hours for a ball game. Come back, go back to work again Monday. This is grassroots, hard-nosed basketball players.
And see, that right there is 100% more respectable than what the NBA players do. Not to take away from what some of those players do, the work ethic, what they do in the gym, on the court, fantastic. If you can have players that are working 40 hours a week outside of playing basketball and then go train for basketball and then go and play basketball and excel, there I will automatically pay any large sum of money to go, or not a sum of money, and be like, hey, that's what I want to watch. I respect what you're doing.
And so the ABA gives the fan a dollar for their investment dollars. Hey,
yes.
I can see a good quality game. I can take my family, my children, my son, my daughter out to the ball game. Concession is very reasonable. The entry fee is reasonable. Sometimes we let the whole school in for free. Let's come on, watch the game because we just love what we do for the community and what the community can do for us.
Which is a good thing. And community involvement is something that is very important. We heard that with head owner and GM Dave Williams from Lansing Sting. It's been an honor, sir.
Yes.
I appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by. He is Ralph Presley, the owner and head coach of the Southwest Warriors in Atlanta, Georgia. He's been with the team since 2011. Do you have a team website that people can check out?
Yes, you can check us out. We go to my website is swwarriors.com, and what we do, we film all of our games.
Fantastic.
And then we take that game and put that game on our web page so you can go back and see yourself on TV and put it on YouTube. So we put over 80 games on YouTube for our players and player stats. So a player comes, hey, I saw myself playing on TV because we videotape and film all of our games. And now we've been on Sports America Radio. You hear yourself on radio. We got BOP TV. Global. But it's unbelievable what the ABA is doing for the community and for the players.
Well, Coach Presley, we appreciate it and wish you best of luck this year. Not a rebuilding year. Go get them this year. Challenge for that top flight tournament. So no problem. All right. Well, he is Ralph Presley, the owner and head coach of the Southwest Warriors in Atlanta, Georgia. I love the passion and fire that I saw from him, David. Wouldn't you agree?
That's the best, isn't it?
It is.
It's the best.
You get those coaches in here that are like, yeah, we had a good season. No, he was he was honest about it. Like, we were dead last. We were just not having it, but he was still excited about his team.
And we had fun.
Exactly.
And that's what matters, right?
And we got cookies. No, that's maybe. I don't know.
Oh,
cookies, maybe?
No juice boxes?
Yes,
Yes.
juice boxes.
Soccer.
I love it. Rec soccer back in the day. Not to compare the ABA to rec soccer. That's just a horrible disservice.
No, I'm sorry.
It's fun. It's fun both ways.
I love juice boxes, though.
Capri Sun?
Yes.
Minute Maid?
Yeah.
Oh, this guy. I love it. I love it. All right, well, we're going to keep moving through. I swear, like I said, I talked to a guest. I turn. There's another guest. I love it. I would love to bring in Howard Hayes, the owner and CEO and president of the Detroit Coast to Coast All-Stars. I'm very excited to bring in Mr. Hayes. Welcome to the show, sir, and how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much. How about yourself?
I am doing good. Where does your team based out of? You have Coast to Coast, so you don't have a city affiliate in your name at least, but where are you based out of?
We actually are based out of Detroit.
Out of Detroit. So you will be seeing a lot of Mr. Dave Williams and his squad in the Lansing Sting. I saw you guys giving each other the look there when I was talking about the rivalry.
Yeah, we got a little bit of something going on in this first year.
Yeah? I'm excited for it. Where do you guys play your home games?
We play at Cass Arena.
Okay.
Which is downtown Detroit.
Downtown Detroit. Now, Michigan, Detroit, obviously as a whole, you have the Pistons. Do you ever find it that even when the Pistons are not having a good year, that you guys are competing with them in terms of how the fans are? Or do you have a pretty solid fan base in the Detroit area just because people just love to watch a good brand of basketball?
Actually, we do have a solid fan base. But our beloved Detroit Pistons play about 45 minutes outside the city, so no real competition there.
There you go. Now, you have the name All-Stars. Do you guys back it up on the court?
Yes, we do.
You do? How did you do last year?
We did pretty good. I think we ended up second in our division.
Okay.
And this year we hope to do better.
Okay, and now with the new playoff formatting coming up, will you be one of the teams featured in the Blue Division, or will you be in the Red Conference?
I'm going to be a Blue Division.
Blue Conference, fantastic. Challenge for that ABA title, as it were. So, do you guys have any community involvement that you do with the team at all?
Actually, we do a lot of community involvement. Coming up August 1st, we're doing kids outdoor 3-on-3 tournaments.
Oh, okay.
So we got a bunch of rims, and we set them out with a bunch of T-shirts. Partner up with a few of our sponsors and allow kids to play in the 3-on-3 tournament.
That's fantastic. I know I grew up, I was more of a soccer player growing up, but playing those 3-on-3 tournaments hosted by local pro teams or college teams was always a lot of fun. So I'm sure the community will appreciate that. But we got to keep moving through the guests. But Howard Hayes, appreciate it, sir. Thanks for stopping by. Enjoy the rest of your time. Howard Hayes is the owner, CEO, and president of the Detroit Coast to Coast All-Stars. Kenny, another team hailing from your Michigan land of woods there. Michigan. It's Wisconsin for us. But another gentleman that's about to join us is going to be where you're headed, Muskegon.
We should have carpooled.
We really should have. You might as well. Like, honestly, be like, hey, that is the COO and owner of the West Michigan Lakehawks, Ron Jenkins. Mr. Jenkins, how you doing today, sir?
I am doing great. How about yourself?
Wonderful. I notice you have a massive ring on your hand. Would you please elaborate?
Oh, yeah. Well, we won our division Final Four last year.
Oh, okay. No big deal.
We hosted it. Yeah, no big deal. Unfortunately, we have teams like the Coast to Coast and the Lansing Steam and many other teams that's coming into our division for the new year. So we're going to be looking and be excited to welcome them in and to say, hey, let's go get it.
Defend your title.
Lot of competition coming on, so we're ready for them.
It's healthy competition.
Absolutely.
It's good to hear, like what we were hearing from Dave Williams, that a lot of you owners get together and say you have these conversations, say, look, yes, we want to play exciting basketball. Yes, we want to compete for a title, but we care about the community. We care about the growth of ABA as a whole.
Well, that's our first and foremost thing, is promoting the ABA brand and then building our community. I mean, it's about the youth, and we take our professional athletes and we want them to witness to and minister to our youth and help them build, help them be able to see their vision, help them to understand that they can make it out, So that is really important to us, and I think every owner of the ABA has that passion, and I think that's one of the things that draw us to say, let's continue to do what we're doing.
Which is a fantastic thing to be able to hear, and especially in Muskegon. Not a high-profile area in terms of you hear of Detroit, you hear of Lansing, but you're still able to maintain a relatively good following. You have a very dedicated group of fans. Where do you play your basketball?
Absolutely. What we do, we utilize our local high schools right now.
Okay.
And we did that so that we can build our fan base and bring more awareness back to the ABA. And we're also making arrangements. We partner with our city, with our county. We're partnering with the convention bureaus so that we can actually go into our arena. And partner with our hockey team.
Okay.
So there's many things that we're planning on doing. And like you said, one of the key things that we have that Detroit doesn't have, guess what? We have the water. So we have Lake Michigan, and that's
hence
one of
the Lake Hawks.
Absolutely,
mascot.
and that's one of the things that we're offering to our fans and people that's coming, traveling very far. We have Michigan Adventure. So there's a lot of things. The biggest wooden roller coaster, I think, in the world. So these are things that our area has that a lot of people don't. So
who knew that Muskegon
excited.
was such a hot destination? I love it. I'm going to have to take my wife up there.
Come camping. I tell you what, one of the biggest camping grounds. We had a state park right there in Muskegon, right there in Michigan.
Go.
So it's huge.
Do you have any wineries around the town?
It's a lot of wineries.
There we go.
Especially right outside.
That's the big selling point.
St. Joe's and those different places.
That's the big selling point.
You go up to Traverse City. You go to Traverse City. That's where all the cherry blossoms and everything's are. So we're really excited what we're trying to do here in West Michigan and in Muskegon. What greater thing to do than to give back?
Wow, that is. It warms my heart to hear the community involvement, the passion that every single person that I've had a chance to talk with today keeps giving back.
Absolutely. I mean, we're talking about, we partner with our YMCA, our Big Brothers, Big Sisters, No More Sidelines. So you name it, that even our youth, our juvenile transition center, we have our professional players going in and speaking and talking to these people, and it's doing a wonderful job in our community. So we're excited.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations on your Final Four last year, Sarah. Hope to see you again. I'm sure we'll be seeing you for some of the games of the week since your team is, not too bad,
Absolutely.
Well, he is Ron Jenkins, the COO and owner of the West Michigan Lakehawks. Congratulations again, sir. And do you have a website that people can find you guys on?
You can go to our website at www.lakehawksbasketball.com.
Lakehawksbasketball.com. Check him out. He's Ron Jenkins. Always a pleasure, sir. Always
Absolutely.
welcome on the show. We'll be
Thank
chatting
you
with you again in the future. All right, well, the guests continue to roll. We are going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we will be joined by Brandon Miles, the general manager of the Baltimore Hawks. David Kenyon, I swear I'll get to you eventually, man. I promise. We'll have a chat. We'll reflect on the day. The show continues to fly by. We might have to do a second show maybe tomorrow or something, or another day, just to actually talk about other things. But the ABA, you're here at the 2015 ABA Conference in Indianapolis. You just got to embrace the excitement.
It's been a fantastic experience. It really has. You meet a lot of guys. They're just so happy to be involved, and they're so proud of what they've done, and they should be. This is a tremendous league, and it's only going to get bigger.
And I'm excited to see what the future is. We've got a lot more to come on the Bax and Grant Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Bax and Grant Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. I'm Bax. No Grant, but a wonderful fill-in as he did so well last week. He came on, talked about the NBA free agency. He talked about the NFL. We talked about all kinds of fun stuff. The Women's World Cup. We hit on everything. He is Mr. David Kenyon of Bleacher Report and of the Sports Knot. And David, as we continue to go with our ABA special show as we are broadcasting live from the 2015 ABA Conference in Indianapolis, Indiana, the excitement continues to grow. You've gotten a chance to meet some people from your home mitten, glove, woolly, furry state, whatever you guys go. I don't know. It's whatever you guys do there. But are you having fun? You having a good time?
I'm having a lot of fun here.
I don't hear it in your voice.
I'm having a lot of fun
there he
here,
is.
Bax.
Okay, I'm having fun. Well, that's
Man,
great.
I'm just having so much
He's
fun.
a writer. He can express it with big, bold words on a page, but
Eloquently.
But
man, to get me to express my excitement of just the amount of knowledge that we've gained today, it's heartwarming, you know?
It is. It absolutely is. It makes you want to just give each other a nice warm hug.
Yeah,
just
something
hug
like that.
It out.
I don't know, something like that.
I would be amiss to not mention the supporting cast, though, that has traveled with us to Indianapolis. One of our good friends and show guest, Zach Poppenfuss, is here. Zach, one of the most, what's the best way to describe him? Shy? No, he's not shy at all. Zach could talk a paper bag into buying a car, I feel like. He's that good with his words.
Eskimo to ice.
Eskimo to ice.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. The man is wonderful, and he's been doing so much marketing and promotion.
He's a smiley guy.
He is. He
You know?
likes to smile. He's got that. Look at
He's
got that smile
right now.
And then someone that makes me smile, my beautiful wife, Liz,
boo.
is here.
Oh,
There we go. My beautiful wife is here as well. She's been doing some photography and making me look good because that's what she does.
Always.
As a whole. So I'm very happy to have both of them here helping out with promotions and marketing and just...
They've done a great job.
They have. So if I could clap with a clipboard in my hand, I would, but
That's brownie points for me, by the way.
What?
For next time I come visit.
Next time you come visit,
Yeah.
that's your just okay.
That was brownie
That's fine.
points.
We'll have a case of Spotted Cow waiting for you.
Yes.
That's Kenny's favorite drink. If anybody ever wants to send David Kenyon a beer, it's Spotted Cow.
Oh, absolutely.
He will drink
Gotta
it.
go
No
to
matter.
Wisconsin.
Exactly.
You're welcome for the free advertising, Spotted Cow.
Yes.
You're welcome.
We'll send you a bill.
Or Nuclearis,
Whatever.
details.
Exactly. It's irrelevant. But Kenny, when it comes to playing basketball, when it comes to a professional franchise and adding an expansion team, certain teams right out the gate do not always find success. It usually takes them 5, 10, 15, or 100 years if you're the Chicago Cubs, if not more. It really just depends on the organization. But as Brandon Miles, the general manager of the Baltimore Hawks, could attest to, is you don't need to be a 40-year veteran in a league to win a championship
Be
or
a
anything.
40-day veteran.
Exactly.
And then you go win a division title. That's what you do. That's how you make your mark
and that's what
on
they
the
did.
ABA. That's what they did.
That is a fantastic, exciting time for Brandon Miles and the Baltimore Hawks. An expansion team last year, won the division. You basically walked in and said, look, I don't care how long any of you guys have been around. We are going to play some exciting basketball, and you proved just that. Welcome to the show, Brandon Miles. How you doing, sir?
All right. Thank you.
Oh, we're excited. So talk about your season last year. You're an expansion team. I'm sure you weren't – I mean, you have some goals that you set as a general manager before the season, but to win a division title, talk about how that feeling was for you in the organization.
Yeah, just coming out. We knew we had somewhat of a great organization that we had put together. Coming out in the first season, a lot of talent that was up against us. We didn't start out ranked. Towards the end of the season, we finished ranked number 5 out of the 80 teams.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So that was somewhat impressive to us. But to carry on our success into the playoffs, we hosted the first round of the playoffs, which we won, which led us to the divisional championship. Whereas though on to the regionals, we lost in a close, hard-fought battle to the team in Providence by 1 point on their home court. Yeah, which we beat them twice during the regular season. So I guess the third time wasn't the charm for
I
us.
guess not. For them it was, I guess. They're like, all right, enough of this. We're going to actually start playing. Now, I'm looking at your logo, and I love the concept of it. It's an ABA basketball kind of intertwined with a hawk.
Yes.
And it symbolizes both the power of your team but also the ABA colors as a whole. Obviously, with winning in division, you obviously had to have a few players that were standouts for you last season. Do you talk about a few of the players that really helped push that team to a division title?
So we had Gerard Rubottom, which was our power forward. This year we're actually going to downsize and make him play small forward so we can have a mismatch on the opposite end. Brandon Davis. And one of our sharpshooters is Deshaun Bradshaw, which is basically like the face of our organization. Plans to lead us the way this year onto the championship if possible.
Hey, anything is possible. Are you playing Blue Conference this year, or are you going to be red?
We're blue, yes.
Blue,
we're
okay.
Blue
So we'll definitely be seeing some of you as we go throughout the season. Now, we've heard from a lot of different players, or different coaches and organization leaders today talking about community involvement. What are some of the things that the Baltimore Hawks do?
Yes, the Baltimore Hawks, we actually just, as of probably the beginning of last month, we held a 3-on-3 basketball tournament sponsored by a local sneaker store in the area. It's called Downtown Locker Room.
Okay.
We actually entered a team in it. I know it may seem a little odd, but the Baltimore Hawks actually did win the 3-on-3 tournament as well, which was sponsored. We actually played against the Street Ball Kings, which is like a street legends team who actually has the guy Hot Sauce, formerly known for Man One, on their team.
Wow.
We played against them for a charity event that was held at BCCC, which is a community college in the area. Mm-hmm. So, they actually close game. We were up 20 early, but they finished the deal
up 20 early.
by beating us by 15. They're a lot more impressive with the alley-oops and everything.
There you go. You got to work on that. Put that in a talk to coach about that this year. Now, where do you guys play your home games?
We actually play our home games at St. Francis, which is like a big-time high school in the Baltimore area.
Okay.
It's in the downtown area.
Okay, fantastic. So a lot of community involvement, a lot of excitement. As you look ahead to this season, from a GM perspective, what are some of the things you hope the organization can accomplish?
Just building on our fan base. Hopefully we can increase. We used to average somewhere between 15 to 2,000 in attendance at our home games, and just this upcoming year when we go on the road, just to bring our crowd along with us, because it seems like when we went on the road, a lot of the times we lacked the crowd, and we seem to feed off the energy of our crowd. So that's one of our big pluses.
Fantastic. Do you have any big rivalry games you're looking forward to this year?
Yeah, we actually building a big one with the DMV Warriors.
Okay.
And I was actually just in there during the conference talking to the gentleman from the North Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah, so he actually wants to build on a rivalry because we played a few good games last year.
There you go. Well, fantastic. Well, Brandon Miles is the general manager for the Baltimore Hawks. Congratulations on the success last season, and we hope to see more of you this year.
All right. Thank you.
No problem. Enjoy the rest of your day. So as we continue to scoot through, a lot of exciting times happening here at the 2015 ABA Conference. Baxter Colburn alongside David Kenyon. No Grant, as we've mentioned, but we've survived without Grant this far, haven't we, Kenny?
You flatter me every time I come on.
What am I supposed to do? Talk you down and say I pretty much, could find a hamster on a wheel and he could make more noise and excitement than you could.
I can change that.
Can you?
If you don't replace me with a hamster, that'd be great.
I will do my best not to replace you.
All right.
I mean, if a hamster is the backup, I'm fine. Honestly.
All right.
I'm not worried. But we are going to speak a little bit just about our overall thoughts. We're going to bring on Zach Poppenfuss here in just a moment as well to get his thoughts and feelings. And if my wife is so inclined, she's not inclined, so we will not. But I'd like to bring on Zach Poppenfuss here in just a moment to talk about his thoughts and feelings. But give us some of your you've had a chance, Kenny, to sit here and listen to all of these fantastic organizational leaders talk about their community involvement, talk about their franchises. How does it make you feel? How does it stand out to you in terms of what the ABA is now? Because I feel like we have a pretty good idea now going out of this day.
I think the biggest takeaway I've had is they're also driven. Because the ABA, as we've kind of mentioned, they've alluded to, it's not the most respected because it's not the NBA. But it's a really competitive, great league, great organizations all around the country. And they're all just so driven to put a quality product on the court, be involved in their community, make an impact in the lives of kids. Coach Presley was talking about how they reach out to the at-risk kids in Atlanta with table tennis. And you think, wow, why table tennis? Can't you teach them basketball? Because that's what you guys do. Yep. Well, sure. But like he said, you can get every single kid, no matter gender, no matter their size. You can teach them how to play table tennis. And Dave Williams, he was in here. He's 6'10".
Yeah.
I
was terrified.
You could get your wife, and they play table tennis together. Liz could beat him.
Yeah.
Beat him bad. but it's just that it's a small way to keep everybody involved, and it's really cool to see.
It is. The community involvement has been absolutely fantastic. Being able to just fully get this culminating picture of what the ABA is, because we were speaking on the drive here, even last night in our hotel room, saying, okay, we have a general concept of what the ABA is, but we don't get what they're what they stand for. And being able to go to this conference now with this new partnership between the ABA and Sports Radio America, and being able to have weekly guests on the show to talk about the ABA, we are fully building this picture of what the ABA is, and now we have this fully, developed understanding of what they stand for. And I feel like that's amazing. And it really helps us as journalists, as broadcasters, as lovers of all things sports, to really put them in perspective and be advocates for that league now and say, hey, sure, yes, okay, you like the NBA, that's fine. But being able to sit around and be like, look at what the ABA is doing, look at their community involvement, look how they build from the ground up. They're a grassroots organization. They've become this exciting force over the last 15 years. This is something that fans need to get involved with.
And it's just so welcoming, too. You have that team in your community, and you look at a place like Detroit where it has a handful of teams. You can go support multiple teams.
Exactly.
And then you can still be involved with what they're involved with. And that's, again, reaching out to their community. And we keep saying that, but it's such a big point that they keep making, too, that we can't overlook that, because we all know we could use a little extra helping hand.
Absolutely. Well, we are going to pass the headset over to Zach Poppenfuss fast. He's been our man on the street, as it were, today, basically, shaking hands, kissing babies, passing out business cards, taking shots. Now, you haven't been taking shots, but you've done virtually everything today, Zach. And so, first of all, I want to say thank you for coming down, making the drive with us, but also for all of your networking you've done for us as well today. But I'm curious to just dive into your mind, and I know it's a scary place, and I need to bring, 5 oxygen tanks because I'm going to get lost.
Probably.
Just talk a little bit about what you've seen through the eyes of Zach Poppenfuss. What have you seen today at this conference?
Through the eyes of Zach Poppenfuss, this is an exciting time for the ABA, and I'm stealing directly from David in my high school years. It's an exciting time to be a Titan. But it is. I think it's an exciting time to be a player, an owner, a coach in the ABA, especially. But I think what's more exciting is I think it's going to be more exciting to be a fan. I'm talking to all you hipsters out there.
Woo!
Get on this bandwagon before it leaves, because I think the ABA is going to, with the guidance, the leadership, the vision that the people in that room have, this organization is going to go places. And if you're embedded into a community and you're doing something beneficial for your community, the community will support you back.
Absolutely.
And I definitely see that in my personal life and in things that I've seen. When the community is seeing that they're beneficial, they'll support the organization. And when the organization sees that supporting the community, helps them out, it's that bond.
It is.
And so seeing that bond understood by the ABA is I think very important, and that's something that sometimes organizations that get that big don't always grasp, that they need to be on the every person level, not just the person who's going to buy tickets level.
And that's, I feel like, one thing that I've had a recent appreciation for minor league sports and not top flight elite pro sports. The ABA is, yes, professional. Yeah. I'm not taking that away, but NBA, NFL, MLB, that. When you step back and look at the minor league baseball teams, you look at the ABA, you look at the minor league soccer teams, those organizations thrive because of the community involvement that they have, but because the community is also able to turn back and say, okay, yes, they're playing good, whatever they're playing, but they actually care about the community and building us up as a whole. Not to say that some professional teams don't do that. You hear a lot about that.
Sure. Yeah. Examples from our area, the Milwaukee Brewers, Foundation does a lot of stuff in the community, and that, and that's kind of what I'm calling from, is that, there is a huge, there's just a huge group there, fan base there, people who are going to support your people because you're doing that community involvement. The other thing that I really think has been self-evident here is that they're very excited about becoming becoming that body of people who know that one or two people can't have the influence that they can as a whole. And the thing that was very exciting as far as a competitive nature and as far as a sports nature goes is that they talked about, these guys are working, they're 9 to 5, they're working there. And that's how
impressive is that?
That's how these things got started. You think about my favorite example is the Green Bay Packers. A little biased, but my favorite example is still the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, it's a good example to have, though.
Bunch of guys in a factory get together, start playing some football. Well, you'd realize you can travel a little bit playing football. Well, then you do that for a little bit. And now look where the NFL's come.
Yep.
The ABA, sure, they've already got the NBA. It's the professional. Some people might stick the premier sticker on there, but I don't buy into it. Just because more,
it's good to not
just because more people buy tickets, because more people are, it's covered bigger, does not mean it's a better organization by far. And I'd make that argument with anybody who'd come up to me.
No, I completely agree. And as we've seen all of these owners and GMs and coaches talk about their organizations today while we're here at the 2015 ABA conference in Indianapolis, it just, like we've said it warms your heart. David said it best. It warms your heart and makes you appreciate just how hard these gentlemen and ladies work, that we have female owners as well. And it's something that, as an organization that Sports Radio America is, being able to partner with an organization like the ABA, they both believe in the same core concepts. They both believe in the greater good and promoting young talent and being able to brand them and put them into better opportunities. So the fact that now both of these organizations are together, I feel like it will be a long-lasting partnership that will be beneficial for both sides and will help both continue to grow as a whole.
Definitely. And for anybody out there who's maybe, oh man, is there an ABA team around me? There probably is. Get on the internet, look it up, and support your local team.
Absolutely.
There are over 80, what do we say, almost over 100 now?
There's over 80 confirmed.
Over 80 confirmed. We're heading towards 100. And
it's not if, it's when. Remember,
it's right.
It's when.
It's when.
That's what
but to all the listeners out there, there's someone in your area that's got an ABA team, and they're real well spread out. They had the map in there that showed across the continental United States, and get on there and support one of those teams because they're really doing a lot of good for the communities. So.
Absolutely. Well, the season starts in November and wraps up in Laredo, Texas in end of April. Zach, we appreciate your time, and I'm sure we will be keeping you informed with everything happening in the ABA, and we might even keep you around as an ABA insider for us as well. So he's Zach Poppenfuss. Appreciate your time, sir. Thanks for coming down.
Thanks, Max.
We'll be chatting with you again in the future to talk about things like the NFL and other exciting topics and talking points. So we are going to take one more break. When we come back, we're going to just kind of open it up and see what we're going to finish out the show with. This is the Baxton Grand Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. Welcome back to the Bax and Grant Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. I'm Bax. No Grant. Grant is off for the summer working in North Dakota, but hopes to return to the great state of Wisconsin to do the Bax and Grant Sports Show for maybe 1 or 2 summer shows if we're fortunate. If not, Grant will return when we go back to our normal 3-day-a-week schedule, our Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule on Sports Radio America in the fall. But we are joined today by Bleacher Report's finest and Sports Knots elitist writer, David Kenyon. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well, thank you, Bax.
Oh, so good. I'm so glad that you're here. So glad you've been able to take in the 2015 ABA conference where we are broadcasting live from right now. A lot has happened today. We've had a chance to speak with so many respected gentlemen in the industry. We've got to talk to the co-founder, Joe Newman. We've got to speak with so many other different people. We had a chance to speak with Dave Williams, the owner and GM of the Lansing Sting, Ron Jenkins, the COO and owner of West Michigan Lakehawks, also Howard Hayes, the owner, CEO, and president of the Detroit Coast to Coast All-Stars. Had a chance to speak with Tom Chichester, also the ABA VP, Director of League Operations and Officials. And then probably my favorite interview today was Ralph Presley, the owner and head coach of the Southwest Warriors based on Atlanta. Not that I'm picking favorites. And we wrapped it up with an interview with Brandon Miles, the general manager of the Baltimore Hawks as well. He was a lot of fun to speak with as well.
He was. Ralph's a character, and Brandon's a very thoughtful interview. It was really, really enjoyable.
I agree. I completely agree. And obviously we were talking earlier in the show about all the different exciting things coming for the ABA. You're really excited about the playoff format, David, and I wanted to get your thoughts about how you see it all helping the league as a whole.
I think it's going to be a really nice way to get the season and the finale of it compact. Because as they were talking, they're going to have a play-in set of tournaments, basically, in certain areas. And that'll help in Michigan in particular. There is a good size following in the Midwest area. You have a couple teams from Chicago, and then into the surrounding area. There's one from Indy, and then I think there's 8 in Michigan. I believe that's what is the number with the expansion teams coming in. And, it's really cool how they're going to have these all separated by parts of the country. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to all meet up in Laredo, Texas.
For a big old-fashioned throwdown.
And I really like it's the final 8 there. And as you had mentioned earlier, we could get a chance at a Cinderella story. They make it down to Laredo, and then it's single elimination. That's the biggest thing.
Which is huge.
One thing that Joe had mentioned in the conference was that you get a smaller team going up against a bigger team, and they shock them once. But when it was best out of 3, that bigger team came back and got them twice.
That's the great thing about the NCAA tournament, too, is it's one and done.
Yep, absolutely. So we're going to see the greatness that is March Madness, and we all love March Madness.
Oh, yes.
And then we'll go right into the ABA playoffs. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. And then right after the ABA playoffs, we're into our other sports, too. It's just a lot of playoffs, and I'm looking forward to it. Playoffs.
Looking forward to the playoffs.
Playoffs.
This is a total side thought. What if the NBA
win another game?
Right. Exactly. Practice. Talking about practice? No. But as a side thought, speaking about the NBA, what if the NBA did do one and done playoff series?
Fascinating.
No. Never will happen though.
No. Not a chance. Too much money.
I was gonna say you'd lose way
too much money in it.
As much as it would be exciting to see, I feel like.
Oh, that'd be fantastic. It'd be absolutely fun to watch. It'd be great. But, man, you think about that Spurs-Clippers series, for example, where they had 7 games, and it's just not feasible in the ABA because these guys do their 9 to 5.
Exactly. They have to make money for their families.
And they're doing this basketball thing on the side, it seems like. But, man, these guys are professionals.
Absolutely.
And they're dedicated.
Absolutely, which is, I feel like, a huge driving aspect of what the ABA is all about is that it's not about the money. It's not about the, oh, look at me. It's not about the endorsement deals. It is about community involvement. It is about team growth as a whole, and how can we help the league as a whole grow.
Absolutely. And you never know. There's going to be those guys. You're going to start seeing them on some professional levels.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, the ABA is professional.
Well, I know what you're saying. The higher, more respected levels,
indeed,
of course.
And in the nicest way possible.
Well, yeah, the ABA, I mean, you got to start somewhere.
Exactly.
It folded. It was gone for 25 years. It came back, and now they're really putting it on a good course to grow it and keep growing it.
Which is a huge, huge thing. As We conclude another exciting edition of the Backs and Grand Sports Show. I know what the show is called. I've been doing this for 70 episodes, I swear. I don't know. I need food. I need to go eat. I am starving.
Oh, I'm with you there.
Hopefully there's some ribs left. They had ribs.
Ribs and chicken. I'm
going to go. I'm excited. But David Kenyon, sir, thank you. Always a pleasure to be able to speak sports with you as such a connoisseur of the game as it is. Where can the wonderful people of the world find your work?
They can find me on Bleacher Report. Go ahead, Bleacher Report in the search box at the top, David Kenyon. You can find me on Sportsnaut, or you can follow me on Twitter, where I have links to all that stuff too. You can follow me at Kenyon19_BR, just like you said, man. I know what I'm talking about.
I need food.
I just need food.
Starving. They don't feed us around here. No, they do.
KENYON19_BR.
There it is. He's David Kenyon. Remember, you can follow the show on social media as well. The Backs and Grand Sports Show on Facebook, at BG Sports Show on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. Remember, use the hashtag the Backs Grant Sports Show as well, and we will see all of you wonderful people show up on Instagram on our show page on Sports Radio America as well. You can follow myself if you really are so inclined at Baxter Colburn. Super simple, no underscores, no 19s, no none of that backwards name mumbo jumbo, but anyway, yes, you can follow me if you so choose. I do my best to stay opinionated within a respectable reason about the sports industry. So this has been another edition of the Backs and Grand Sports Show. Remember to check us out on Monday nights on Sports Radio America during the summer from 7 to 10 Eastern. You can download our podcast on Spreaker, iTunes, and listen to us on demand on iHeartRadio. Huge thank you to everyone at Sports Radio America and at the ABA for welcoming us and making us feel like family. Kind of like what you and I are, Dave. We're brothers. We basically are. Our wives love each other, so we're basically brothers. So we're in the married club now. We're both got the shiny silver rings on, but we're super excited about that. So thank you again to all of you for tuning in to another edition of the Backs and Grand Sports Show. Enjoy your week. Go check out the ABA. Go check out all the teams and players and coaches that is a part of the league. And we will see you all again next Monday night for another exciting edition of the Backs and Grand Sports Show. Good night, everyone.